This video will share everything you need to do to have a successful Instagram profile as a real estate agent in 2021. The strategies and tactics that I'm going to share with you will help you to generate massive leads and closings for the low cost of free. I've gained just over 10,000 subscribers, hundreds of clients and leads, and utilized all the credibility Instagram has given me in my real estate business. What's going on, everyone? I'm Kyle Handy, a realtor and team leader here in San Antonio, Texas. I help teach other realtors, team leaders, and brokers how to grow and scale their real estate business through digital marketing, content creation, social media, as well as tried and true methods. If you want proven strategies that you can use to get more leads, closings, and scale your team, you'll love this video. Keep watching. So the first thing that we need to do is understand the history and goal of Instagram. Instagram was created in October of 2010 and gained over 100,000 users in its very first week. By month 2, it already had 1 million users, and by the end of its first year, over 10 million users. In 2012, Facebook purchased Instagram for $1 billion in cash and stocks. What's even more interesting is that in 2013, Facebook offered to purchase Snapchat for $3 billion and it was declined. So shortly thereafter, Facebook decided to beat Snapchat at their own game and started to implement some of Snapchat's core features into Instagram. In 2016, Instagram launched Instagram Stories, which migrated a wave of users over from Snapchat and made Instagram the #2 social media platform globally. Mark Zuckerberg's goal for developing Instagram is to leverage attention and place ads where users spend their time. This goal means that if you can get users onto your feed, into your stories, and continuing to come back, you'll win the game of Instagram and get rewarded with tons of free leads and closings all because of it. So to do this, it involves 2 main steps: attracting followers and creating engaging content. You can then leverage this organic or paid traffic that follows to fill your lead generation funnels. One of the first steps to growing a successful real estate Instagram profile is identifying profiles that are already attracting your ideal customers. As a real estate agent, this usually means local influencers and businesses that have grown a large following and create content in a manner that you wish to. These profiles do not have to be other real estate agents. In fact, I prefer to get inspiration from other businesses outside of real estate. This inspiration could mean looking into news channel profiles, restaurants, photographers, food bloggers, small business owners, and so many more. Creating a successful real estate Instagram profile takes more than only posting real estate. Think of all the other things clients of yours are interested in that are specific to your city. Activities, restaurants, special events, and sports are all examples of content that you can use to fill your profile. But we'll get more into this later. For right now, find 25 to 50 of these types of local profiles that you admire and follow them yourself. Use these inspirational profiles to see what images they post that catch your attention. How are they captioning their pictures to get your engagement? Additionally, you'll want to like and comment on their posts. Try to comment on at least 10 posts per day. These comments gain your profile attention from your ideal customer who may see your comments and check out your profile. Also, spend a few minutes each day watching the stories from these ideal profiles. Gather cool ideas, see what they do for their call to actions, aka their swipe up button, link in their bio, and then follow their swipe up call to actions to see how they create their funnels. Also, you can direct message them or DM them from their stories and see what type of response that they give. Ultimately, though, begin thinking of yourself as a producer of content rather than a consumer. Consume for research purposes only and don't get caught up mindlessly scrolling through Instagram for hours. 2 years ago, I created a goal to produce more content than I consume, and since that time, my business has taken off. I encourage you to adopt the same mindset. All right, so step number 2 is to create a strategy and posting schedule. Instagram has many different ways of publishing content to the platform. Each type has a different optimization strategy. I'll break down each section of Instagram to show the best ways to take advantage of each section. And first off, we're going to talk about your Instagram profile, also known as the grid. The first section of Instagram that I'm going to cover is your profile or grid. Your focus here is to create images and videos that hook your audience and turns them into followers. Very rarely will you ever try and sell anything here. The goal of this content is to get likes, comments, and follows. Your grid is the foundation on which your entire Instagram success builds. When someone stumbles upon your Instagram profile, that person will usually know within a few seconds of glancing at your grid if they are going to follow you or not. The best way to create a high quality grid is to break down your content into 5 categories. Choose any 5 categories or themes that you'd like to produce content about. For me, I stick to family, real estate, personal development, technology, and cars. When you choose 5 categories that are not simply all business, you create a connection with your audience personally and professionally. Choose things that you are passionate about and routinely find yourself doing during your daily life. These different categories also allow you to connect with your audience on multiple levels versus only one. Real estate. When you post on your grid, it should never be in real time. These posts should be thought out and scheduled ahead of time. In the moment posts should be left for Instagram stories or live video. One way to begin curating content for these 5 categories is to create 5 different photo albums on your phone. Go through your camera roll and begin assigning photos to their respective albums. If you're anything like me, this one exercise alone could give you enough content for a year. Then, moving forward, as you take new images, you can start assigning them to the different albums as you go. When choosing or creating new images, Jenna Kuchar, a marketing entrepreneur, says to take into account the following. Aesthetic. Does this image visually look like my brand? Is your brand silly, serious, luxurious, simple, modern, traditional? And then brand. Does this content relate to something that your audience will engage with? Then is it consistent? Is this content consistent in terms of how it looks compared to my overall grid? And diversity. Is this post different from my last post, and does it speak to another section of my audience? And lastly is quality. Does this live up to the quality that I expect of my content? If this post stood on its own, would it represent my brand well? Once you've determined if the photo or video lives up to your standards, it's time to create a caption. Just as the photo or video attempts to hook a potential follower or client's attention, your caption tells a story, and its purpose is to gather engagement. There are 3 goals any post should aim to accomplish: inspire, educate, or entertain. Once you decide which of these 3 goals your post is going after, you can choose which type of caption you should write. I typically use 3 types of captions: a story, a question, or a list. In a story caption, you take your audience into the moment. That means sharing even the most minute details and feelings surrounding that moment. These stories aren't fairy tale type stories, but somewhat relatable life experiences. Not every story needs to be a significant epiphany. Even small wins and things that you learn throughout your day fit the bill here. As you do this more often, you'll get better at paying attention to small things that you do every day without typically even noticing it. Questions give your audience, whether big or small, a chance to feel heard and share their opinion. Sometimes I'll ask something as simple as, "What's your favorite restaurant?" Or more in-depth questions like, "What's your biggest fear in buying a house right now?" Questions are great for engagement and give you insight into potential offers that you can make down the road. The last type of post is a list post. I haven't made many of these, but list posts do very well on Instagram whenever I have. These list posts could be something like the top 5 free things to do in your market, 3 things most people don't know about you, or even 7 of your favorite shows on Netflix. Again, think outside the real estate box. Not everything has to be all business. Next, we need to cover hashtag usage. But first, if you're wondering what a hashtag even does, here's the easiest way to explain it. Hashtags are like keywords on YouTube or Google. They're searchable within Instagram and help your post show up outside of your current followers when people utilize Instagram's search feature. For example, if I use the hashtag Spring Branch Homes, my post could show up in the gallery whenever someone searches on Instagram. If someone follows this hashtag, my future posts with this hashtag could show up on their main feed. Many tools can help you determine the best hashtags to use. I like using flick.tech. I'll post my affiliate link in this video's description, which gets you 10% off your first month. Flick.tech is a hashtag research tool. It gives ideas of related hashtags to your main idea and then gives you the difficulty of ranking in the top posts for that hashtag. These difficulty rankings are important because if you only target challenging to rank for hashtags, you may not receive any reach on your post because they're getting outranked by users that have more followers than you. Additionally, you should check out which hashtags your ideal model profiles are using on Instagram. I have a note set up on my iPhone that I continually add hashtags to whenever I see posts from the people that I follow that are good ideas for future posts. The last thing to add to a post is your call to action. You should add a call to action or offer to every single post that you create. There are two types of CTAs that you can use, a small CTA and a large CTA. A few examples of a small CTA would be double tap the post, which will create a like for that post, or post an emoji, or comment below. A few examples of a large CTA would be asking your audience to share the post, tag friends in it, or click the link in your bio. Utilizing a CTA in every post you create is extremely important for a few reasons. First of all, they help take people from Instagram and move them further down your funnel and into your email list, CRM, or client pipeline. Secondly, it allows the Instagram algorithm to promote your content to a wider audience organically. Anytime someone comments on your post, be sure to respond as it increases engagement for the algorithm and teaches your audience to use the comments as you are active and participate with them, and encourages increased comments in the future. Let's shift gears now and talk about IGTV. Initially, Mark Zuckerberg designed IGTV to be a competitor to YouTube. Zuckerberg realized that people were mainly using Instagram as an app to kill time between moments, and he wanted to create something that would keep users on the platform longer. Although today, IGTV still has a ways to go before being a direct YouTube competitor, it is starting to fulfill the intention Zuckerberg initially hoped it to do. Today, IGTV even has a separate app from Instagram. It is becoming a more widely used long-form video platform. In general, I look at these videos as in between something you might do on Stories or Live and what you might create on YouTube. While I like my YouTube videos to be around 12 to 15 minutes long, I've found the best IGTV videos I make tend to be about 3 to 5 minutes long. Typically, I like to use this time to answer questions that my audience has and follow all of the above suggestions for typical grid posts. Also, be sure to add captions to all of your IGTV videos as it'll increase engagement. Many people watch IGTV in places where they can't play audio, i.e. their work, in bed at night, or in public places, so having captions retains viewers longer. Captions are easy to add and can be done automatically through Instagram. Head over to your Instagram account settings, click on Account, then Captions, and be sure to tick the box for auto-generated captions. Once you've done this, you'll also need to be sure to turn on captions whenever you upload a new IGTV video. Upload your IGTV video as usual, tap the Advanced Settings button at the bottom, and then be sure auto-generated captions are turned on for the video. The most important part about IGTV is that after 1 minute of viewing, it will ask the viewer if they'd like to continue watching the video to click a button. Be sure you've hooked your viewer enough to where when that comes up, there's a reason to continue watching. If you're answering a question, set the question up in the first minute, but don't answer it until later. If you're using a list, reverse the order in which you share the list so that they have to go past the 1 minute mark to get the top results on your list. All right, so next up, let's talk about Instagram Stories, which is your real life. Instagram Stories are short 15-second photo or video clips that go away after 24 hours. They are excellent for sharing the day-to-day activities that happen throughout your day behind the scenes. It takes your audience with you on your journey as if you're on a reality show. When stories first became popular, I remember thinking my daily life wasn't interesting enough to share with people and no one would respond to my stories. That couldn't be further from the truth. We are all so unique that posting a few highlights throughout your day is bound to resonate with other people. I have to purposely stop myself from watching the unending string of people's stories on my feed. Even though these events may be small compared to significant events that you might create a grid post or IGTV video about, these stories give you the chance to show your audience that you're a real person. I'm always surprised at how many people I meet up with in real life reference something that I posted in a story. The key to stories is consistency. Create a reminder on your phone every 2 hours to share something on your stories. I don't always adhere to this, but it reminds me, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But overall, I'm thinking about it throughout my day. One of the best new features is that if you're also working on your Facebook presence, you can share a story from your personal Facebook account to your Instagram account. If you go the other way around and try posting from Instagram stories to Facebook, you can only post the stories to your Facebook business page. Another notable part about stories is utilizing the swipe up feature to take people off Instagram and onto any destination on the web. This destination could be a landing page, calendar booking page, or a listing of yours. You need to gain 10,000 followers before using this feature, or if you have less than 10,000 followers, you can run a story ad to give you this functionality. The best part about using Instagram stories is the ability to create story highlights. Highlights are where you can take individual stories that you've made over time and group them with other stories and have them live on indefinitely on your main profile as highlights. You could use this to create a buyer or listing presentation story highlight. Create a highlight reel of all of the best stories you've made in each of the 5 categories that I discussed when creating your grid. Get new ideas for story highlights from other influencers in your market to see what categories they're using for their highlights. I've seen agents use this section to create buyer and listing presentations, showcase sold listings, and create lists of top restaurants, activities, and other helpful information for their local audience. All right, so now let's talk about Instagram Live. If you've ever posted or seen a Facebook Live video, you know what Instagram Live is. However, there is one significant difference. Currently, on Facebook, your live videos live on forever after being created, whereas on Instagram, they are gone after 24 hours. For this very reason, I tend to prefer creating live videos on Facebook. However, if you have a second phone, you could set that one up to stream you to Instagram Live simultaneously. I look forward to the day when you can click a button and stream to both platforms at the same time. All right, so next up is Instagram Reels. The most recent addition to Instagram are Reels. Reels are short 15-second videos that you can set music to and share to your stories, feed, and the Reels tab. Reels are Instagram's attempt to go after TikTok, and I believe it'll succeed just as they did with Snapchat. Reels allow you to show off a bit more personality and get creative. A few ways you can use them for your business is to share educational content, teach your audience something new in 15 seconds. Also, show off your services like a recent sale or a new listing. Now you may be thinking, this sounds a lot like a story post. What's the difference? Well, there are a few main differences that you should know so that you can determine which type of post is suitable for what you're looking to do. Number 1, Reels stay on your feed versus a story goes away after 24 hours. Next, Reels can be featured on the Explore page, whereas stories cannot. Third, Reels can be featured on a hashtag page for a long time, whereas stories cannot. People who don't yet follow you can find your Reels, whereas with stories, they can only be found by those who follow you. Reels are new, so the organic reach that you can receive right now is fantastic. But that's not to say you shouldn't continue creating stories. Again, stories are to take people with you throughout your day. Reels are a little more thought out and take longer to make since there's more to them, like captions, hashtags, and mentions. Both serve a specific purpose, and ultimately you want to show up in the most amount of places possible on a user's feed. So having a balanced strategy that utilizes all the different types of Instagram posts is preferred. So let me give you an example of an Instagram publishing plan. First off is daily. Create 2 grid posts per day and create 10 to 30 stories per day. Weekly. Create 2 IGTV videos every week. And then in addition to that, create 2 grid posts in addition to the ones that you're creating daily, where you collaborate with another Instagram user who has a following with the audience that you're trying to reach. We'll talk more about this when I get into collaborations here next, but basically you're gonna message them and let them know that you're gonna mention them on a post and would love if they'd be able to do the same for you that week. Monthly. Work on building out a story highlight and take some of your top stories from the month and put them into a highlight. Access your story archives by clicking the archives button within your Instagram menu, and you can see all of the stories that you've created and then place them into their respective highlight category. All right, so more on collaboration. One of the best ways to grow your following as quickly as possible is to collaborate with other Instagram users. You have to be intentional and reach out to see if you mention them on a post, if they'd reciprocate on a post of theirs that week. Keep in mind that going after major influencers when you're just starting out is not likely to result in a fair trade-off without additional compensation. When you pay for an mention from a significant influencer, it's called a shout out. You can purchase shout outs for as little as $5 to $10 to as much as thousands of dollars depending on that influencer's audience size. But overall, it's a great way to get in front of your target audience, gain credibility, and increase your followers quickly. I'd rather pay for a shout out than run Instagram ads when it comes to growing my audience. You can even use a paid shout out for marketing a listing or gaining additional buyer and seller clients. Imagine how many people would see your listing if a significant influencer in your market posted a shot of it and put a swipe up feature to check out the details on your site. In my opinion, because of the social proof and credibility aspect of this approach, it's more beneficial to do this than run basic paid Instagram ads. Lastly, when you get a shout out, it can live on forever. If the shout out is on a grid post or reel from that influencer, it'll live on as long as the post is active. Stories, not as much, and therefore the price you pay for a shout out should factor this in. But with a paid ad, the increase you receive as far as followers, traffic, and engagement only last as long as you're willing to pay for the ad. So those are all the ways that you can utilize Instagram to grow and interact with your audience. Once you begin to build your following on Instagram, it's essential to understand how to turn followers into clients. The best way to do this is to utilize stories to get people to swipe up and into your funnels. Until you reach 10,000 followers, you'll need to use ads to make this possible. Also, using story highlights is a great way to build a mini presentation, showcasing your services with the end goal to pre-sell potential clients to reach out to you or make their way into your other marketing funnels. One major benefit to note is that even if you don't get your Instagram audience into your CRM or email list right away, you can utilize retargeting ads on Instagram and Facebook to convert your followers into leads down the road. All right, so if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button below this video. I upload a new video each and every week. Also, hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like, as it helps my videos reach more real estate agents looking to grow their businesses. And if you're looking for that Instagram hashtag tool, click my link in the video's description below to get 10% off your first month subscription to flick.tech. I've talked about how important keyword research is to create a blog or a YouTube channel, and it's no different for Instagram. Keyword research is where it all starts. So having a tool to give you that valuable insight saves your time and increases your efficiency. And finally, if you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Type NCREW into the comments and let me know that you've watched it to the end. And now I want to turn it over to you. Let me know in the comments if you're using Instagram as a marketing tool in your real estate business. What types of posts are you finding that work the best to gain followers and engagement in your local market? Until my next video, be well and get out there and sell some homes.